Can you give me a yeah?
Ugh.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Ugh.
No. That's Say.
Yeah, I always remember you
Come
always
on.
says,
No, it wasn't.
It
was.
wasn't. Ugh.
Yeah.
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 That's it. Yeah. Hi, Ben.
You right?
Yeah. Welcome to my lab. Sorry I haven't done any hoovering or dusting, but do you remember this?
Look at that. Now that brings back some memories.
That's a long time ago. That's 22 years ago since we last
It'll
put
make me
that
feel old.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
I'd like to do is actually have a chat about the Brite days, because as I remember it, we had a professional team, the likes of Rob Hales, Wacker. We had a junior team, a development squad rather.
Yeah.
And the development squad was quite a squad, if you remember. Was it Brad Wiggins, Steve Cummings?
Steve Cummings, yeah.
You know, yourself.
Went on to do all right.
Yeah. So it probably was the biggest professional stroke development team we probably ever had.
Yeah. No, because I mean there've been other kind of senior teams, but none that had a junior and juvenile team underneath that feeding through the way that they did, and it actually started from that, because in the year before in '97, my dad got an invite out to a race in Germany. It was a youth race out in Germany, and he asked a number of the other kids who that I was friends with and raced with, Craig Sellen and Tom Wood and Nathan Harmon, Chris Story. Do you want to go out to go and do this youth race? And we're all in different clubs, and to make us kind of all look like we're on the same team, he got some just yellow Castelli jerseys, just printed up with Brite on the because who my dad was working for, just so we looked as a team, and we got some socks done as well, and had an absolute ball. Didn't even make it round the first lap of the thing, but when we came back, we all enjoyed riding together so much. We started just racing together, and you only knew that we were part of the same team together because we all wore the same socks, and that then rolled into my dad putting together the Team Brite.
He was the CEO of Brite Communications. Yeah. Is it Communications?
Yeah, it was a big American telecoms company.
That's right.
And my dad ran the European arm of that, and yeah.
Did you realise? Well, you probably do. We actually cleaned up pretty much every track title.
Oh.
Apart from the women, and that's because we didn't have any women. Sorry about that.
Yeah, different time.
But yeah, I mean
and not just the track either. I mean,
wasn't the world's team,
yeah,
Team Brite for the
pretty
team
much
pursuit.
all except Paul Manning, I think, was Team Brite. I mean, we won almost every single Premier calendar. Apart from the national champs, where Matt Stevens managed to nip away and get that.
We let him have that one.
Yeah, maybe. It really was. It was such a dominant team across all disciplines.
I mean, Rob Hales won the national 10.
Oh, they didn't just win the national 10. We got first, second, third, I think fifth. And then
a helicopter to the Lincoln.
And then helicoptered it to Lincoln. I managed to blag a seat in that helicopter to fly to Lincoln, so the boys could then land and then jump in and ride Lincoln as well.
Yeah, that was good. So can we talk about when I first met you? I think you was 14. I caught you in a 10-mile time trial.
Yeah. I asked you not to mention that.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
It's first and last time I ever let you beat me in a time trial. Yeah.
I still beat you, and it had to be said. But what I'm leading to was you won the junior pursuit.
Yeah.
And you was racing. I mean, you got to the final. You was up against a friend of both of ours, Reece Griffith.
Yeah.
And when you're in the final, the old-fashioned method of racing in a pursuit was to ride your man. And Do you remember we sat outside Manchester Velodrome and we discussed tactics?
Yeah, you puffing away on a cigarette.
That's the one,
just,
yeah. And I said to you, I think, because Reece went out really fast, didn't he?
Reece was a beast, yeah. He just,
went,
the way you rode a pursuit was just...
It's crazy.
Out the blocks,
Bang.
full on.
Yes.
Yeah, first kilo was just something amazing, and then hang on. And you could just about do that with a 3K.
Yeah,
And that wasn't me.
No.
That was not me at all. My first laps were shocking. Really, really terrible. And I would roll into the ride. If I tried to ride it the way that Reece rode it,
yeah, that wouldn't work.
I'd just blow.
Which is why we come up with what we thought we would do was ride you to a schedule, right, and then maybe 5 laps to go. Was it 5 laps to go?
Around about that,
right.
yeah.
We would then go, and I don't know if you remember, but me and your dad had a little bit of a fallout there. First of all, it started when he overheard us talking about not riding Reece to like ride the man, and he said, "There's no way. I know more about pursuing than that I'll ever know." And we there was a little bit of tension there.
Yeah.
But the worst bit was me throwing him out the track centre because I was in charge of you, and he wasn't. He had to go and sit in the stands.
And he needed to be. I mean, because geez, Dad, if you're watching, I love you, but yeah, I had to develop my entire pre-race psych-up strategy over blocking my dad in particular, everything else out of so before the world knew, everyone used these big huge Beats earphones and things. I used to go to the shop and find the biggest possible set of headphones I could possibly find. Everyone used to take the piss out of me, but when I had those headphones on, just blasting some dance music in my ears, I couldn't hear the world.
No.
And I'd find a spot on the other side of the track that I could stare at.
Yeah.
And if I could stare at that spot, nothing else could touch me, and I could find my spot in the world and be able to focus. And you had to chuck my dad out of the centre to allow me to have that in that moment. I
mean, your dad and myself are really good mates. It was purely a professional thing, Yeah. I was looking after the squad, and so therefore. There was no. Stuart wasn't the only person. I threw a lot of dads out.
Dads should be dads. It's something it's something I really want to learn for my boys. Is I want to make sure that I concentrate on being a dad.
Yeah.
Be on the sidelines. Be their cheerleader. You can't be a dad and a coach.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
But can we go back to that pursuit?
Yeah. Because that worked for me. Because do you remember that, when you put the bike in the gate?
Yes.
Something went wrong with that, and the bike wasn't right. And normally, for a lot of people, that the bike being it's coming loose when you're getting on it, that would mess their heads. Because of what you'd done and how you'd got me to that start line, it didn't even register. You just told me to sit at the side, sit on the track, I'll sort it. And bike went in, I just got back up, straight back on, and I was there.
What actually happened was the bike was at an angle, and I said, that's not right. So I got them to pull it out and make sure, because I knew you was in the zone, you was ready to go, and you didn't want to start at 45 degrees. But my take on this, how this went, having sent your dad in the stand, there was a bit of heckling going on, saying I've made a mistake coming across from the seats. And as you set off, every lap, I'm shouting out level.
Yeah.
And Reece was...
Because we were riding to the schedule.
But Reece was catching you.
Yeah.
And I'm going level.
Yeah, he wasn't just catching me.
Yeah.
He could see me.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I talked to him afterwards, and he said, yeah, he got to the point with 6 laps to go, he could see me. I think the most I was down was 4.5, 5 seconds down.
He was in the same straight.
He was in the same straight. You could see
I
me.
was getting you've blown it, Legro, and I'm going level. And then on, I think it's 5 laps to go. We got the schedule. I just threw it on. I said, party time.
Yeah.
Right, and you went.
I knew how far down I was.
Yeah.
I knew how far down because I was starting in the back straight, so I had the scoreboard like right there, and every time I hit the my line, it was telling me how far down I was, and.
You was like 4.5 seconds down, weren't you?
Yeah, 4.5 seconds down with. It was 4.5 seconds down with like 6 laps to go. I was about 4 seconds down with 5 laps to go. I was 3.5 seconds down with a kilo to go. Then it was 2.3 laps to go. I was 2.8 seconds down. 2 laps to go. I was 2.1 seconds down. I hit the bell. And I was 1.218 seconds down.
You remember all that?
Yeah, it's clear as that. I mean, I still have this image of, like, because every single nerve in my body was just screaming.
You were just going faster and faster. Unbelievable.
And it was my head. I have a clear image in my head of me going round. In the banking, on the last lap, I can see myself from
an out of body experience. Yeah.
It was a feeling and a sensation I never had again. It was just at no point in that ride did I think I didn't have this.
No.
I
kind of shared magical. That. You know, the conversation we had before the pursuit, the final. We was kind of a unit by then. Nothing could separate us. And even though you were down, and I was getting heckling from the crowd, saying I've made a mistake and you've blown it and all the rest of it. I had that going on. But there was, as 1% of me, I had the fear of God going through me, because what you pulled out, when you went into the bell, you're still down.
Oh, comfortably.
You know, and I'm thinking, whoa, if I have blown it, I'm going to be I'll probably get a sack or something. But it was such an amazing finish. I mean, you didn't just make my day. You turned me into an emotional wreck, right? Because I was with you every pedal stroke.
Yeah.
Every bloody pedal stroke. And when you did it, and I'm jumping up and down, do you remember what happened next?
Well, because I only won it by 0.018 of a second.
Yeah, it was a bit close, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. We hit the line, and to everyone in the
it's kind of a bang bang, wasn't it?
Yeah, the guns went, and they were. I knew. Well, I knew from the second I came into that final straight and saw you with your arms in the air. I knew I'd got it.
Yeah.
And I hit the line. I knew I'd won.
Yeah.
I had my fist in the air, and kind of rolled into the centre to find you on the other side of the track. In tears, trying to put your shoes and your helmet on because you had a race to do yourself.
I had the veteran sprint final straight after, no warm up.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Which I won.
Which you won. Yeah. I mean, for you to kind of go through that roller coaster of emotion with me, and I owe everything. I owe that medal and that jersey, that experience that shaped me as a human. Shaped me as a person, to you, and for you to go through that and then have to get up and ride yourself. That was something so hard.
I'm sure I haven't also influenced you in being a bit crazy as well. Because when you was a youngster, don't forget, when we was preparing for this, the Brite team was so big. We were well funded. And I remember booking Manchester training sessions out. To the extent that we blocked out the national squad from training, and they used to come cap in hand asking if their riders could come and join to jump on.
Yeah.
And where did we stay? Was it we stayed somewhere?
Some barns, some converted barns above Glossop. Yeah, it was in the middle of nowhere, up in the moors, just middle of nowhere, the top of Cow Lane.
That's one. Because if I remember rightly, Wasn't there 4 or 5 young girls staying there?
Yeah, there were some interesting stories that could be told. Don't worry, Tom. Craig,
We won't mention the Tom incident, but I will mention that I did put a curfew on.
You did. You did.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
And I come round and inspected to make sure that you had no girls in your dormitory.
Yeah, and so we locked the door, and all we heard was dum 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 dum, just like Fred Flintstone on the door outside.
Didn't I find one of the girls in the wardrobe that you hidden?
Maybe. This can neither be confirmed nor denied.
But I mean, to me, that was, right up there with one of the best moments. Not just your pursuit, but the whole thing that the Brite team was so professional. In the way it was funded, the way it was supported. Everybody got bikes, kit, expenses, and it was a hell of an atmosphere. And to be involved with all these riders, riders like Brad Wiggins that went, has become Olympic champion. You got Steve Cummings, yourself, going forward. It's just such an amazing period during that time, and it was almost like it's before its time.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the kit and the equipment and stuff. It was the camaraderie between not just the within each group, but between groups. We were riding and training
with the pros,
with the guys who were riding the Olympics and the World Championships, and we'd sit there and be regaled by Colin Sturgis about stories of him at the Olympics and what some of the shenanigans that they got up to, and just be able to be, as a young rider, to be able to see how the guys at the top end would train, would work, and to be accepted by it.
They were humans as well. We used to laugh and have banter, and it was good fun, good times.
It was brilliant. It was a lot of fun stories and memories that we'll be talking about when.
Thank you.
When we're out.
Well, thank you very much, Ben, for sharing that with us. That's something.
Yeah.
Show your kids.
I really should do.
Get it framed, put it on the wall.
I need to do something, because I really should do.